So where are we going to be starting at, Kurt?
I think we'll start out here in the middle, Matt. We have a young man from River Valley taking action there. As Carl and I are going to tell you, we're going to jump around a little bit from Matt tonight. To our far left, as we're looking at the screens here, that'll be Matt 1 with the RC that's facing towards the camera. Matt 2 will be the black Matt in the middle. And then on the far end is our brand new Matt with the RC facing away from us. That'll be Matt 3. We have the one camera. We're going to try to highlight a match through each weight class as we go. Not each weight class, but throughout the day. Action ends on that Matt. We'll try to switch to another one. We'll try to do a little bit of play-by-play on the mat that we got the camera on, and then we'll also try to keep you up to date on the other two mats that are going on. Right now we're looking at, since we haven't got bout sheets yet, we're going to rely on Hub to keep us going here. Right now on mat number 1, we're going to have Rylan Geller up from Nakusa Assumption. He's going to be taking on Deacon Brown from Black River Falls. On mat number 2, we have Ben Reese from River Valley. He'll be taking on Colton Buchner from Watoma Wild Rose. And then on mat 3, we have Tyler Maxwell from River Valley taking on Brady Baumgartner from Prairie du Chien. So excited about the action today. Excited about, I've already noticed Carl looking, since Ken and I were at the Clash last week at Mineral Point, noticing a couple wrestlers. Radke from River Valley, who wasn't able to wrestle last week, is listed in the tournament today as a number 1 seed, I believe, at 32 or 44. Or excuse me, 32 or 38, somewhere in there. And then Teague Perkins, the fine senior from Richland Center, he's back in action this week, and he'll be wrestling at 215 for Richland Center. 2 years ago, he was a state qualifier, state place finisher, 4th place for Richland Center. Missed last year because of a elbow injury. Missed the Clash tournament last week because of a slight injury, and hope him to have a good day today. So real close to getting here into action. And our announcer, Mr. Ken Theed from the Muscota area, excuse me, I'll say it right, Muscota. Long-time announcer here at the Richland Center events and does a very fine job. Got a really good crew here, great crew of officials. Rich Legler down here on mat number 1 from the Oregon area. In the center mat is Jason Benerud from the La Crosse area. Our head official is Matt Boyer from Baraboo. And then far in there is Paul Yeager from Mineral Point. Well, action here, getting ready to go. Go ahead, Carl.
Well, I was going to say, I just mentioned just a few of our sponsors.
Yeah, go ahead.
Advanced Pump and Well Solutions, Bank of Cashton, the River Falls Wrestling Club, and the Boscobel Wazika Steuben Wrestling Club, and the Brookwood Wrestling Club and Green Repair LLC, all helping to bring you the action today live from Richland Center and tape delayed on Ken's YouTube channel.
There you go. I spent a lot of time catching up on some of that last week, seeing some of the action since you don't always get to see it. We are in action now in both mat number 1 and 2. And then right there we have an early takedown by Ben Reese from River Valley. He did a nice job last week and ended up being a place finisher for River Valley at 113. And I believe, I'll look at it real quick, yeah, he was in the 7th, 8th place match at the end of the day. So he had a decent week last week for River Valley. We have another River Valley wrestler wrestling Prairie du Chien on the far end there. So in the center mat here, we have Ben Reese with an early 2-0 lead as he's taking on Colton Buchner from Watoma Wild Rose. Now I'll apologize early, Carl. Sometimes I get the names right and sometimes I kind of give them a little bit of a new adjustment.
Well, then, you know, sometimes.
Then last week it was Ken and I were marveled about the number of young men that had familiar names with schools that were wrestling for another school. And I really blew the one I saw in rewatching some of the event on the YouTube channel is I took the young man from Lancaster who is by the name of Crap, who was wrestling there in the middleweights, and I kept saying he was from Fenimore because there was a Crap from Fenimore and a Crap from Lancaster.
On mat 3, Brady Baumgartner is off to a 2-0 lead over Tyler Maxwell of River Valley. That's over on mat 3. And we're in near fall right here in front of us.
Yep, real close to a fall there, and Ben Reese gets the fall with 49 seconds to go in the first period, so that would be a 1:11 fall. So now we'll move the camera down to mat 3 as Carl works on his not to get you dizzy mode.
Yeah, you don't get Dramamine with this subscription.
There you go. We'll stay there for a while, but we may come back to the center mat because we do have, although we have 2 good sponsors down there on the mat 3, so we can maybe stick for that for a while. But we do have a Viroqua wrestler coming up here real quick, and you're going to have to bear with us a little bit because that's the only thing. And they get the seating meeting done, and then they quickly try to get into the wrestling. And so Carl and I are basically relying on Track Wrestling on the hub to give us matchups, and we yet to get a program to solidify our position. But right now, as Carl said earlier, it's a 2-0 score down there, but we will keep you in track here with, if I can get it to come up.
Mat 1 is 4-0 Deacon Brown of Black River Falls over Ryan, is that Gellerup?
Gellerup, yep.
Of Nakusa Assumption Port Edwards.
Yep, there you go. Our center man now will bring you up to date on him. At least he's wrestling. We're going to still stay with Carl's mat down there on mat number 3 with Baumgartner ahead of Maxwell 2-0. But Alex Klum is taking on in our center mat. Now we're also getting close to a fall down there. Keep an eye on that one. And Alex Klum is wrestling Ricardo Anyanya from Watoma Wild Rose in the center mat. We did get a fall down there, and that would be the young man, Deacon Brown from Black River Falls, getting that as he pins the Nakusa wrestler. So we'll be moving on to some more action there. Still down there in our mat number 3 that we're highlighting, Baumgartner now has extended his lead to 3-0, but Maxwell's trying to come in for a single leg takedown of his own. And in the center mat, Anya, I believe that's how you would say that, has scored an escape and now trying to get a takedown, but Klum's fighting that off with a single leg and stays 2-1 in that match. Going to get a new mat out here on mat number 1. Again, it looks like our first Wisconsin Dells wrestler taking the mat down there. Out of bounds down there in your match. Still 3-0, right, Carl?
It is 3-0, yes. Baumgartner leading.
I believe we have our first Hornet taking the mat down here on mat number 1, and that would be Brock Barrett from Bristol Center, the freshman, at 120 pounds. He takes on Cashton Stoddard from Wisconsin Dells, going for an early takedown down there. As Klum spears another takedown in our center mat, he's up 4-1. We're going to stay on mat number 1 for a while yet. We're still in the second period there, winding down the last 30 seconds. I see, I don't know if the clock is clicking like it should here, refreshing on the, might be a lot of people on the
Yeah, there could be a few people on the Wi-Fi here.
Yeah, that might slow it down a little bit. 3-0 down there now as they're winding down the second period. In our center mat, it's still 4-1 in favor of Klum. And then down on mat number 1, it was Stoddard who got the first take. And he's 2-0 out in front there as he's trying to get Barrett over on his back. Third period action now down there on mat number 3. And that would be still Baumgartner out in front, 3-0 on that one. Klum working in the top position, looking for a near fall there. We could switch it. It wasn't doing good. Klum comes up with a fall before I could get Carl to switch it over there. But Alex Klum will move on to the quarterfinals as he gets a second period fall with 1:38 left there. So that would be a 2:22 pin for Alex Klum.
I just had to check in on our live stream just to make sure everything was going good. We've got 27 people listening to us live right now.
Well, that's good.
So hopefully that number grows as the day goes on.
Yep.
But thank you all for listening. You can do some messaging here on Twitch. I think we might be able to to respond to you guys if you wanted to type in, ask questions, or
put in
however.
a request for a match too that you want to see.
Kirk will actually sing a little bit. We take requests.
Yeah.
He's more of a baritone.
If I start singing, the camera will start vibrating. Okay, looking down there in our match, we're going to have some blood time, so we will switch it to our center mat here, where we have Max Guru from River Valley. He's taking on Miles Narut from Adams Friendship in a bout at 132. Still down on our mat number 1, that's in favor of Cashton Stoddard from Wisconsin-Dells. He holds a 4-0 lead over Brock Barrett. And as we said, our mat 3 is doing some blood time right now.
Well, we'll take
take a break here, get some sponsors in.
Mention some sponsors, Campbell's Mobile and Solar Meats, Cashton Farm Supply, the Cashton Wrestling Club, Central Express and Pasture Pride in Cashton, Citizens First Bank, Coon Valley Telecommunications, and the Darlington Blackhawk Warbirds. All helping us bring you the wrestling action today from Richland Center.
As we mentioned today, this first round here, which is basically they call it your round of 16, or prelims here. We're anticipating about 24 bouts on 3 mats. We're already up to 132 in the center mat, which you're watching Miles Narut out with a 2-0 lead from Adams Friendship. We'll keep you apprised to the last 30 seconds down there on mat number 3, is that is still Maxwell trailing 3-0 to Baumgartner from Prairie du Chien, but Maxwell trying to get a takedown there and at least make this match a little bit closer, but he's running out of time, only 10 seconds to go there, and I believe as Baumgartner is going to come around and get another takedown, and we're going to go back to blood time there too. So now it is, though, 5-0 in favor of Baumgartner as you watch in our center mat as they wind down to the last 10 seconds there of the first period. And it is Miles Narut from Adams Friendship winning 2-0 as they go to the second period. In our other bout, they're going to go into the third period. And again, Stoddard leading down there now 5-0. So early rounds, and you still got a lot of people filing in, Carl, and the day is getting going at a pretty good pace. It's kind of the way they seed everybody. So with short of at least 3 wrestlers in each bracket because of 13 teams here in a 16-man bracket, a lot of your 1s, 2s, and 3s aren't wrestling this round. So sometimes the action is a little not quite as intense as when you bring in your first and thirds.
No. And as the day progresses, we get into the quarters and the semis and the finals. This gym was going to get considerably louder.
Yes, it will. And there'll be less people going in and out, and the temperature will maybe rise too.
Yes.
It's always Ken and I always marvel at, especially with our radio crews above us here, when they go in and out of that door, there is definitely a huge shot of cold air comes sweeping over your shoulders.
Yes.
As we come back to the action here now in the second period, it's still that's what happens when you start talking too much and your computer doesn't stay live. Still have Miles out in front, Narut 2-0. They did get a bout end down there as Baumgartner won down there 5-0 over Maxwell. So we'll still stay here on our center mat since we started there. We will bring you up to date on mat number 1 as Cashton Stoddard from Wisconsin-Dells is now leading 8-0 down there. We have 37 seconds here left in our match, and we're going to get some blood time there. So maybe we'll switch it down to mat number 3 as we do have another River Valley Prairie du Chien match going down there. And that'd be 2 of our sponsors down there. We'll keep you up to date on the center mat as they're doing blood time down there. But we do have, and I believe that's at 126, which that I think was one of our, no, it's 157 is our biggest weight class today with 13 wrestlers in it. Going to get a final down there on mat number 1, and that is the young man from Wisconsin Dells, Cashton Stoddard. He moves on with an 8-0 win, so we'll get new wrestlers out there. On mat number 3, we have Rodolfo Espinoza from River Valley. He takes on Mason Hurd from Prairie du Chien. As Carl and I both alluded to earlier, we truly expect Prairie du Chien to be the favorite here today, as they were runner-up last week at the Clash tournament. It might be a quick fall down there.
All over but the crying.
Yep. That was how many seconds, Carl?
59-second pin time.
59 seconds there. So what do we got going on down here, mat number 1?
We've got a GET wrestler down there. We haven't covered.
Yeah, let's go down there then.
We can go down to 1.
I think that's one of there. That's Gunnar Kremer from GET at 126. He takes on Donovan Lemke from Berlin. My first chance to mention the name Berlin. Berlin has a fine assistant coach in their program. He used to wrestle here quite a few years ago. A lot of people will recognize his name. Is Ryan Dobbs. I believe he's even sitting down there in the chair. Good to see him get back in Wrestling Center again. There's a quick fall by the GET wrestler.
46-second pin time.
Gunnar Kremer gets the first period fall there, and he'll move on to the quarterfinal action.
Well, we're going to have Nakusa and Richland Center on that mat, so we'll just leave it on mat 1.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Be our second Richland Center wrestler of the day taking the mat. I believe that'll probably bounce us up to like 44 or 38, somewhere in there.
We got some coolie matchups on mat 3 with Gavin Garcia of Black River Falls and Logan Conrad of Arcadia.
Carl's really at a disadvantage. He has to see how good his eyes are staring across the table.
My eyes are way better there than they are anything from about here to my face.
Oh, okay, good.
I forgot my cheaters again this week. I'm kind of at that age where I need to bring things like that.
There you go.
But I still refuse.
Down there at mat number 1, we have Brandon Whitland from Nakusa Assumption. He's taking on Eli Muckler from Wrestling Center, the senior, coming in with a 500 record, looking into action here and see if he can extend the season up to Wisconsin Dells. Down on mat number 3, that's Gavin Garcia from Black River Falls. Carl said that's a coolie matchup as he takes on Logan Conrad from Arcadia. Conrad leads in that match 2-0. In our center mat, which they're finally going again after quite a bit of blood time, there's about a minute left in that match, and now it's Nurut leading 4-0 in that match. Muckler gets, I believe, the early takedown. Yes, he did. He got the early takedown, and he leads 2-0 over Whitland, a junior from Nakusa with a 13-16 record. And as soon as I said they got things going on mat number 2 with the blood time, they go back to it again. So that one's going to take a little longer to complete. Down on mat number 3, it's now 4-1 in favor, as they're going to end the first period down there with Logan Conrad from Arcadia out in front of Gavin Garcia from Black River Falls. Not totally understanding where they... Is that supposed to be a T on the side of the Black River Falls wrestling?
Yeah, for the Tigers.
Oh, okay, now it makes sense. Thanks, Carl. It's been a while since I've seen the Black River team. Long time. Well, he's a Viroqua native. Jim Hornby was one of my high school coaches, and then he moved up to to Black River Falls to be the head coach up there for many, many years. So it's been almost that many years since I've seen a Black River Falls wrestler, too. Well, they used to come to the Bi-State, too, so they had some good years there, too.
I know there for a while, Black River's program was down in numbers, but now they've jumped back up. They're getting their numbers back up.
That's good, really good. Yeah, some of the programs, and the one thing that helped a lot of programs in this area of the state is the female action. You know, there's several schools. One example, since a good friend of his that has his granddaughter wrestle there, is the Kickapoo Lafarge program. with their female athletes, they've got one of the higher numbers in the this area of the state or throughout the state, and it's also helped their men's action too. Down there in our match that we're watching, they just ended the first period, and I don't know if he gave it. He must not have got away, so he did not. Eli, even though it looked like there was an escape there at the end of the period, the time must have ran out before the young man from Nakusa was able to secure that escape. And so they're going to go into the the second period with Eli still winning 2-0. We resumed action. We're actually down to the last 38 seconds of our center match. Now Narud has taken out a 7-0 lead. And as you're watching there too, I see Muckler just scored another takedown, which is good. And then finally down there in our mat number 3, it's 4-1 down there. Narud just gave up an escape. Now he's going to try here in the last 5 seconds to get another takedown, but I think the period's going to end, and he's going to win that in mat number 2. 7-1 is going to be the final there. We got a minute 42 left on mat number 1 as Muckler now leads 4-1 in that match. And we're getting close to the end of the second period down on mat number 3. New action going to start here shortly.
It's going to be a Wisconsin Dells wrestler and David Van Loo of Viroqua.
There you go. There's that inside track that you know who they are before they even put it up on the thing.
He's of Viroqua's team. Half of our wrestlers had never wrestled before this year.
Oh, wow, that's good.
So, building
the building program.
Building program would be an understatement, but some of these guys are just great guys to have in the room. We've got 2 foreign exchange students. We'll see one at 150 today. And actually came in varsity record of 11-11, and he's from Spain. Never wrestled before in his life, but did judo, and that helps.
Well, we're going to stay on Muckler's match here for right now, but as soon as that's over with, we'll try to get over and get at least some of Van Loo's match on there for you. But Carl will keep track of that, as right now Glassy did get the early takedown, but Van Loo did get an escape. It's 2-1 with Van Loo trying to come in for his takedown. Van Loo did give up head toss there, and now he not only gave up the takedown, he's giving up back points. Just keep you up a little bit up to date there. Muckler still leading in his match with 45 seconds to go here in the second period. And some bad news for you to report there about Van Loo, right, Carl?
Yeah, he was in on a nice double, was able to bring it up, but Glassy is just a little bit too much for him.
He came with a nice head toss there and ended up finishing the match there, getting the fall in the first period. We're going to have another Richland Center wrestler take the mat here on mat number 2. He's going to take on a young man from Boston. We'll get you those names in a second. Mat number 3 down there is getting into the last 20 seconds down there. Still in the last 15 seconds of Muckler's match here in the second period. Just a lot of time going on there. In the center here on mat number 2 now, we have S.B. Pitts from Boston Necedah as he takes on Kyle Wassinger from Richland Center. And finally have a final down there on mat number 3. And that would be Logan Conrad from Arcadia winning 10-3 or Gavin Garcia. Muckler now is going to start the third period, and they're going to be on their feet. He still has that 4-1 advantage. And then there's still no score in mat number 2 with Pitts and Wassinger from Richland Center. Muckler shoots in deep on a single leg. Just got to pick it up now or switch across, and he should secure the takedown, and he does. Nice job. 6-1 now with a minute 30 to go in that match. Waiting for our next match down on mat number 3.
Yeah, I don't see anybody moving around there to even...
Well, they're getting kind of close to once we get to 57 is when we get pretty much towards the end.
The next matchup looks like it's going to be at 150.
Yep.
Either was at or currently will be. We've got a Mauston wrestler right now.
And there's one match at 150.
And Black River.
One match at 150 and then 5 matches at 157. 157 is our biggest weight class today with 13 athletes in it.
We talked a little bit about that before we had our sound on, about where most of the guys lay in terms of what they weigh. And it used to be everybody was kind of stacked in the 30s and 40s, and now we're seeing more guys in the 50s and 60s, 150s, 160s.
I agree with you. Of course, you were in the seating meeting there too. They had quite a discussion for a fair amount of time. As Muckler coming real close, there's the fall, just that quick. He had to jump down there because with 44 seconds, he did a nice arm bar and he turned the young man over and pinned him with 44 seconds to go, so that would be a 5-16 pin for Eli Muckler as he moves on to the quarterfinals. So now we're going to switch to our center mat here, and that's going to be Wasslinger now trailing, as he just gave up a reversal there, trailing 3-2 to Pitts from Mauston Nisita. And then down on mat number 1, we have again another young man from Black River Falls, and that would be Sander King as he takes on Charles Novotny from Mauston Nisita, a senior with a 7-8 record. And then down on mat number 1, we have another Black River Falls wrestler taking on a wrestler from Adams Friendship as we continue to watch Wasslinger's match here in the center circle.
We are getting some action on our chat room. We've got what looks to be a parent from River Valley, Jackson Shields. Parents seem to be watching from home.
Good.
Hoping that we can cover their match, and we will certainly do our best. River Valley is one of our sponsors today, so
if they're one of our key, we're going to try to cover everybody here today, but we do have some key sponsors that we definitely want to emphasize.
Speaking of sponsors, we're going to give a couple shout-outs to the DeSoto Wrestling Club, DeWitt Construction, Genuine Telecom, the Melman GET Wrestling Club, Grantland Graphics, and Harchie Lumber, all helping us bring you today's action. I wonder how many times I'll screw that up today.
Well,
I'm already 2 for 2.
They're helping, and we really do appreciate our sponsors and sponsoring events today. I know we have Ken Manning, the boss, down at Mineral Point going, but then we also have a fine team up in Independence today covering the other side of at least Ken's Division III sectional next week at Mineral Point. Ken and I will be at Mineral Point next week, and I know Carl and is Shelly going over to Dells with you?
I think Wayne and Shelly are going to be there because I'll be my primary job will be coaching. Oh,
that's right. You're wearing a different hat next week. That's right. Yeah. So we're covering those two for sure, Dells and Mineral Point again. But then we also have, I don't think we have a team at Dodgeville today, though, do we?
No. Well, and the teams that we're going to pick up from Dodgeville at Wisconsin Dells are Belleville, Monticello, New Glarus, Belmont Platteville, Broadhead Judah, Columbus, Cuba City, Benton Southwestern, Darlington Blackhawk, Dodgeville, Edgerton, Evansville, Lodi, Monroe, Portage, and River Randolph are the ones that are going to be they are currently at Dodgeville and will end up at Wisconsin Dells next weekend.
Yeah. Carl said one of the biggest additions there is Lodi, which still looking Tuesday night. A lot of people, again, anticipating that was a tremendous duel last year between Prairie du Chien and Lodi in the team finals. We get a pin down there on mat number 3, and that would be Sander King, the junior. He scores a fall in the second period. Then we just got another fall here on mat number 2, which you were watching, and that would be S.B. Pitts as he pinned Kyle Wassinger with 29 seconds in, so that would be a 4:29 pin in the second period. So right now we're going to wait and see how they reload before we really switch somewhere else. They do think it's going to stay maybe right where we're at because if we have a Veroka man. Who's that there coming up, Carl?
That's Vinnie Klum and Arcadia's.
They're going to have to wait till it loads up.
Tamke.
Where'd you find that?
Right down on the bottom is the...
there you go. Yeah, you're good, eyes.
Real small print.
There you go. Yep. So Tanky from Arcadia taking to the mat there. Yep. And that would be Derek Tamke from Arcadia, freshman. So he takes on Vinnie Klum, probably one of the leaders for the stroke with Scott, right?
And he got right in, kind of a front cow catcher, front head series into in Iowa, right over into near fall criteria.
He got a beautiful half. And you stay with that one, Carl, and keep talking about Vinnie, and I'll catch up on the other two.
Yeah, Vinny's had a pretty good year as a junior, really filled out. Pretty successful year. He's 23-18 coming into today. I believe he's already wrestled Tamke and won earlier in the season. I don't remember the exact details of that, but Tamke is going to get the escape.
It'll be 5-1 though.
And they'll go back to work on their feet.
The only match going with action right now is got blood time on both other ends.
Vinny almost caught him again in that front head, but didn't. He ran out of real estate over on the edge of the mat.
He likes that, as Ken would say, that used to be an old move that one of his former wrestlers, Danny Yost, would do all the time, and Vinny's kind of running it to perfection.
Well, his dad was a spladle guy, and I don't think Vinny's legs are that flexible.
He's got it again, though, there, Carl, and
right
he's got him in a lot of trouble.
Doing a good job. He's teed up. He's elevating the head. He just can't get that far shoulder down. He's doing everything that he's supposed to be doing right now. Just a little bit too much fight from the bottom.
There it is, though.
There's the fall.
Back in action down at the far end. No score down there between Lucas Stanley from Adams Friendship and Brody Schultz. What was Vinny's pin time? 21 seconds left, so what,
1:39?
Yeah, thanks. Good math by Carl. Okay, down on mat number 1, we still have Austin Lund down there as he takes on Alex Blazik from Adams Friendship.
Those stupid ads on Track Wrestling.
And I know it kicked me out of there, and I don't like that at all. There we go. Maybe we'll get back in here. We do have River Valley wrestler just took the mat down here, and that would be Ty Larson from River Valley as he takes on Nicholas Esteban from Arcadia in a 157-pound bout. We had, as we mentioned earlier, we got two 157-pound bouts taking place right now. Stanley from Adams Friendship and Schultz from Berlin down on mat number 3. Right now, that's 2-0. And maybe there was a fall down there because they look like they're changing matches, and we're going to have a Veroka wrestler taking the mat down there. So we're going to stay here with the River Valley wrestler.
We do have Blaine Permer. He's going to be up on mat 3 against...
wait, they might not be letting him take the
Young
mat.
Thunder.
Well, maybe they are. They had somebody else. Maybe that was the last match. You think you are? You know these guys. It's Primer now, so we're going to switch down there, I believe.
Young Thunder. I want to say he wrestled at 150 last week at conference. They're playing with the shot defense into a front head, right into a near side cradle, which has been his signature here the last few weeks. In near fall criteria and the pin, 27-second pin time for Blaine Permer. He's also wrestling a little injured. He's got a sprained ankle that he's fighting through today, hoping to make his way to Wisconsin Dells next weekend.
Adam Blasek got a fall down on mat number 1 for Adams Friendship at 144 pounds. As we switch now the camera back to mat number 2, which is our only action going on right now, Ty Larson is losing in that match right now to Esteban from Arcadia, 4-1, as they just finished up the second period. So we're going to get new action both on mat number 1 and number 3. Mat number 1, we're going to have Mauston Nacita taking on Watoma Wild Rose down there. Still looking for action. We're going to have another Arcadia wrestler down on mat number 3, and he will be taking on Adams Friendship. That'll be Austin Fernholt taking on Ryan Weaver from Adams Friendship. And then, like I said, on mat number 1, we have Eli Rader from Boston taking on James Howen from Wild Rose, or Watoma Wild Rose. I know the head official said Watoma in the seating meeting, and quickly the coach corrected me, say Watoma Wild Rose. So you got to remember all these additional towns now. The one that's always a challenge I still see yet is Gale Electric, Turnpullo, Melrose, Mindoro. By the time you get that all out of your mouth,
yeah, the match is done.
Yep.
Well, and really, that is a good example of a co-op that can build a program back up, and then should be split back apart.
Yep, that's for sure. I remember where that first started, and we were up for a referee's birthday party in the Independence area, and I ran into Ernie, is it Brodsky? Yes, right?
Brodsky, yeah.
A longtime coach at Melrose Mindoro there. He's now officiating. And it was just fun to see him again. But Ernie was at Melmin, and then Peterson came into GET, and when the two of them married that program up, it became a powerhouse.
It very well did.
Yep. We look here again in Larson's match. We haven't said a whole lot about it because not a whole lot has changed. He's still trailing against Esteban 4-1. In our match down on mat number 1, Raider from Mauston is leading 2-0 in that match. And then on mat number 3, no score down there, right, Carl?
Yeah, I'm not sure how they did that because it's still showing first period.
Oh, now they got a score up.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I understand your confusion now because they were wrestling down on the mat.
Yeah.
We did get a fall down here as I turned away, and the young man from Mauston Nacita down there, Eli Rader, came up with the fall with just 3 seconds left there in the period. In our we're down to the last 2 minutes here because there's been a fair amount of blood time in the Larson match here. He goes into the third period on top, but trailing 4-1 in this match against Esteban. The other thing is, through the years, especially with the change in, let's say, the ethnic background of some of these areas, it's just interesting to see some different names in the Arcadia area instead of the ones you were used to back in my era, the 70s and 80s.
Yes.
There's a lot of Hispanic workers working in that area and doing a fine job in that area for the community, but it's changed a lot of their families' ties and even some of the sports that they're really good at, because back in that day, I don't know if anybody really expected Arcadia to have soccer.
No.
But now they have a very good soccer team. We're going to switch here in a little minute as we get done with this match, as we got another Richland Center wrestler on, and that is Ethan Bodendine. As Ethan had a really nice tournament last week at the Clash, and he ended up down there, I believe, look that up real quick, he ended up in 6th place down there. So he came back and had a good tournament there. But still 5-1 in Larson's match as he gave up another point. But now he gets a takedown and now is tightening this up pretty considerably. And he's got a cradle locked up. He can make it real in it. He let the cradle go. But if he could get a turn here, I want to keep an eye too on Bodendine's match, as he just did get a takedown, leads 2-0. Then on the far end now, we've moved up to 190 down there, and that is Jack McKeacham. He's taking on Ismail Medina from Watoma Wild Rose. And just as I look away, Bowden turns him over with a double armbar, and he gets the pin down there for Richland Center with 26 seconds to go, 134. And then you got a pin down there in your match too, Carl,
29-second pin time. That was Jack McEacham over Ishmael Medina from Watoma Wild Rose.
Yep. So still, now we did get a final here, right? 7-3 in the center match as Nicholas Esteban from Arcadia beats Ty Larson and will advance to the quarterfinal action. I think we're going to switch down to, we're going to have to decide here
We've
yet.
got Wisconsin Dells
and maybe
and
Mauston.
somebody.
I'm thinking we might come down here to mat 1 because it looks like we're going to have
Let's go to mat 1.
Yep, Conway.
We've got Black River and Wisconsin Dells on mat 3.
There you go. Pierce Conway from River Valley taking on Wyatt Bowman from GET Melmin. So that'll be our feature match that we'll show. In mat number 2, it looks like we're going to jump up to the quarterfinals right away, and this is where it really hurts not to have a program.
Well, we're going to mention a few more sponsors. Yep. Iowa Grant Highland Wrestling Club, the Ithaca Weston Wrestling Club, J&R Military Surplus down in DeSoto, Kickapoo Lafarge Predators, and the Viola Quick Stop, Coon Creek Feeds, the La Crosse Loggers, and the Lancaster Flying Arrows, all helping out with today's sponsorships.
Because where we're at, we've already jumped up to quarterfinal action down on mat number 3, and that's our first match at 1:13 in quarterfinal action. That'll be Nick Ersland from Wisconsin Dells as he takes on Deacon Brown of Black River Falls. In our last quarterfinal action, preliminary action down here on mat number 1, our first takedown was secured by Wyatt Bauman, and now he gives up the escape to Conway, but leads 2-1 in that match. Going to be quarterfinal action in mat number 2, and that will be Lucas Rivera from Watoma Wild Rose at 106, taking on Ani Zaragoza from Arcadia. Like I said, these names for Arcadia very much changed from the Lamberts and some of those other and Prochinskis that I'm used to from Arcadia. Still a takedown there. Mat number Conway was able to get the takedown this time against Bowman, and now leads in that match 3-2. Then in mat number, like we said, we're going to have Arcadia and Wild Rose, or Watoma Wild Rose. And then down on mat number 1, Ursland's still winning in that match, right, Carl?
Yes, the Wisconsin Dells is up 4-0 going into the third period.
Third period? Okay, good. He's wrestling Deacon Brown from Black River Falls.
Oh, second period.
Okay, good. Right at the end of the period there, Conway was able to get some more points, and now he leads 5-2 in that match as he secured some near fall there right at the end of the first period.
Well, we're still looking for our River Valley wrestler at 106, Jackson Scheel. Family watching today live on Twitch.
He must be on deck, maybe down here on mat number 1.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, there you go. You found it, yep. Not used to looking down there, Carl. We'll get better at it since we haven't been getting any programs. I see people down there with programs now, but that's one of the... We got a nice viewing point from where we're at, but we sometimes get overlooked as far as getting our daily updates or timely updates from the staff here at Richland Center High School. Escape now by Conway down there. 8-4 in trying to get another fireman takedown against Bowman. And he's going to get it, and he's going to get Bowman in trouble again. But I don't know if he's going to get any back points out of it, but he is going to get the takedown with less than a minute to go here in the second period. In our center match, is coming real close to a fall here, is Zaragoza from Arcadia, looking real good there against Rivera from Ottomo Wild Rose. But time is maybe not going to work for him there.
Bowman had a huge reversal.
I see that as I turned away. Thanks for catching up for that, Carl. But he got 2 reversal and 2 back out of that too, didn't he? And now Conway comes back and gets some more points at the end of there. Hopefully the scorers can catch up here. It looks now like it's going to be 12-6 in favor of Conway. That was an active last 30 seconds, wasn't it? And now we're going to have some blood time, I believe, with 14 seconds to go.
He's got quite the tape job on his face right now. Not sure what's going on.
It looks like maybe it's a bloody chin or something in the, maybe in the side of his head.
And that tape's going right over it. Oh, that's going to be so fun to take off later.
Yeah, that will be. But it must be, I'm taking it might be a chin there for Conway, that he bopped it and is bleeding there. They do some cleanup there as we get ready for more action. Down on mat number 3 now as they're going to get ready to start the 3rd period down there. Richland is leading 9-0 in that match. In our center match, Zaragoza from Arcadia leads 5-0 as they're early in the 2nd period there at 106. So as we said, we're starting out quarterfinal action here on 2 mats, and then our last match down here as far as a prelim match at 190 is again taking some serious blood time issues. Too bad we couldn't get Phil's attention to get a program update. Program? We need some. Tried to get the attention of our fellow colleagues upstairs, see if they got some extra programs, but we do have a final there on center mat. That must have been Zaragoza coming up with the fall. Down here, we're going to stay with mat number 1, is Conway is in the down position to start the 3rd period. Still has a 12-6 lead in that match right now. Another final down on the other end as Nick Richland gets a 12-0 win in his quarterfinal action as he'll move on to the semifinals. Where you want to be today is the best position since we advanced 4 out of here is you want to be in that semifinals right from the start, because then you just got to fight to stay in there. And as they mentioned in the seeding meeting, this is realistically, it's a championship that you're going to get at the end of the day, but it's really a qualifying tournament, just like it's a qualifying tournament next week. The goal for every wrestler here today is to get to Madison and stand on that podium, hopefully in the number 1 position. A little more scoring down there by Conway as he got another reversal and now leads 14-6. And just as I say that, he turns Bowman again, looking for that fall. New action down on mat number 2 now. We have Brennan Warrenbacher from Nakusa Assumption. He takes on Josh Roche from Ottomo Wild Rose. That's at 165. Did we miss some? We must have missed one there. Must be how they jump back to a prelim match. Don't know how that is. But he did get a fall down here now as we turned away, and Conway did get a fall out of that, and he now will move on to quarterfinal action. As Carl alluded to, by the time they got done, there's not a whole lot of Pierce Conway's face showing there. That's going to be one interesting tape job. We're going to stay down there because that's the one that was requested in that, and we're going to stick at that match there. That's going to be 106, I thought we said, right?
Yes. River Valley's Jackson Shield.
They haven't put up there yet.
Looks
either.
like it's a Bumgardner. Nope, never mind.
No, that's the next. That's the 120. They've already gone there, but they haven't updated the other one. But he's a young man from Boston, Nakusa. He's taken a. That might be Miller from Boston, Nakusa, the coach's son. Did get a final there on mat number 2. Not too sure who won there. I believe it was Roche from Watoma got the fall. And then down on mat number 3, we have Jaden Vanderhoff. He takes on Porter Kosman from Prairie du Chien. That's a matchup of 2 of our contending teams going on down there on mat number 3. But we said we'd stay with this match, and so we're going to stay here at 106. We'll give you the competitors here pretty soon, but it is going to be Mazda against River Valley. We're waiting for the computer to update. There it is. Jackson Shield, the freshman from River Valley, takes on Landon Miller from Mazda-Necedah.
We're going to have, Viroqua's Alex Klum will be stepping out onto the mat on mat 2. And I'm not sure who his opponent's going to be. Looks like Nakusa Assumption Port Edwards. Yes. Get a name here for you in a second on that one, too. As Landon Miller got the early takedown there against Shields. Jackson, the freshman, with a 10-17 record, but he's running into a tough opponent here, and that's Landon Miller, the fine freshman, the coach's son from Mazda-Necedah, and he has him in trouble right away with an arm bar and really close to securing the fall here against Jackson. And there's the fall in 42 seconds. Good luck to Jackson on the backside. It doesn't mean he's done for the day, but he's going to have to come through the backside and try to get 5th and then try to get 4th. I'm going to switch over to mat 2.
Nice job. Switch there for Alex's match. Right now, no score, so you didn't miss anything. 30 seconds to go in the period. There's a fall on the other end down there, and that was a comeback win for Porter Kosman from Prairie du Chien. As he came back, he was trailing in that match 5-2 and came back and got the fall against Jaden Vanderhoff. That was kind of an upset somewhat, but that was one of the more interesting, one of the few weight classes there was a significant amount of discussion there. And part of that was because of Haiti dropping down there too, to that weight class. Some scoring going on here in Alex's match. 4-1, 4-2 now. It's 2 escapes by Alex and 2 takedowns by Sawyer Ostrom. And Sawyer in again deep on a single leg, trying to switch off. Alex trying to roll through that. Now Alex has got the single leg and coming to his feet. Speaking of Mr. Haiti, he's on the mat down there on mat number 1. So as soon as we get done with Alex's match, we'll see if we have time to switch down there. Although Evan,
we're going to be stalemate. Yep. Evan
might not. Oh, we're going to have some blood time down there or something anyway. But Evan did get the early takedown, Haiti, and leads 2-0 in that match. Now we have
Perney down on mat 3 is taking the lead over Reese of River Valley.
River Valley, yep. Perney, one of your more highly ranked wrestlers here today at 113. This is, like I said, this is one of about the only weight class there was a fair amount of trying to jockey. You have 4 pretty good quality wrestlers here in the top 4, and we'll see that as we get there later today. Haiti, last year's state qualifier, and I believe the young man who was in the number 1 seed was a state qualifier last year too.
We're going to say thanks to the Laval Telephone Co-op, Lynn's Home Center of Cashton, Nicolati Construction, Nordic Lanes, North Crawford Seneca Wrestling Club, and the Marketplace in Gays Mills, along with O'Reilly Auto Parts, helping you bring today's action.
Keep going with a few more as long as we got some slow action going here right now.
Well, we can go with Organic Valley. Big thank you to Portland Implement, the Prairie du Chien Blackhawk Wrestling Club, Premier Co-op, Richland Grant Telephone, and the River Valley Blackhawks Wrestling Club.
Get a fall down there on mat number 3. Cody Perney from GET gets the first period fall in 152. in the center mat. You just watch Sawyer. He's still doing a little bit of a takedown clinic on Alex Klum. He leads now 12-3 in that match with a minute 15 to go. And mat number 1, we got some serious blood time there for Landon Peeler from Arcadia. Is Ethan Haiti right now. Leads 3-0. Not totally sure how he got the extra point. Unless there was something illegal there.
That'd almost have to be.
I would think so too, because Haiti got the takedown. I don't know how point was scored out of that. We do stick with now it's 15-3 in Alex's match. He must have gave up some more back points, right?
Now I think if you hit that, it may tell you a play-by-play of the scoring.
Oh, really?
One of those will. I don't remember which one. Yeah, it just says penalty point.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And if you click over on the next one, yep, right there, take you back to where you were.
Boy, learn new tricks every day. Thanks, Carl.
Not that it was very helpful, but at least you know you were right with the penalty.
It just didn't seem that it could have been anything else. Ethan now leads. There's, oh, wow.
Fall.
Alex, nice sophomore, but he ran into a pretty good record there from Sawyer Ostrom.
3:56 pin time.
Yeah, Sawyer had a junior with a 29-6 record coming in. So Alex is still all right. He's in the tournament yet. Got to come the hard way now, though. We're even going to have an injury default, I think, down here now.
He ran out of blood time?
No, I don't think so. But anyway, for whatever reason, Evan Haiti is going to win that match by, I would take it's going to be an injury default. And so Evan moves on to the semifinals now. And so we got to decide where we're going to go next. And so far it's not looking too bad to go to the center mat.
That River Valley wrestler has one heck of a limp.
That might be Radke coming back here. He missed last week's tournament.
So let's go over to mat 1.
Yeah, I would too. That should be. They haven't updated. Well, it's supposed to be Gazda and Baumgartner, but I don't even see that match. They're struggling here a little bit, maybe with the computer. We do know down on mat number 3 we have Drake Ingham from Prairie du Chien. He takes on Miles Narute from Adams Friendship. That is 4-2 right now in favor of Ingham.
Well, while we've got a little break in the action, we're going to pause for dramatic effect for the tape-delayed version of this for some commercials made by yours truly, Ken Manning.
There you go.
So we'll take a quick break and come back with more wrestling after this.